Hello.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning, Raj. How have you been?
I'm good. And how are you?
All well at my end. Is it a holiday for you or is it a working day?
Uh, I am a private tutor and generally teach in the evening. So it's like that.
Oh, so daytime you're completely free.
Yeah.
What do you do during the daytime?
During the daytime, I generally work on myself, reading and all the stuff to improve my English. Otherwise, making notes on the subjects that I teach, accounts at plus two or English grammar.
All right. Okay. So did you get an opportunity to go through the session notes for today?
Yeah,
Right.
it is
Because
about wearing a mask.
correct, wearing a mask. So in your hometown, are people wearing mask now?
No, the
No.
people do not like to wear masks, and even in the corona time the people who were using masks, they were using only because of the restrictions. So they were skeptical about all the things, that how can mask help us, and they were skeptical about the COVID and their impact as well. They used to feel that unless they hit, I mean, the second wave, they came to know that yes, this can be really drastic. But when it had started in the first lockdown, they were not following the rules as well.
All right. What about you? Were you wearing masks during COVID?
During COVID, I used to wear, and before then, I didn't use glasses. So at that time, I used to wear it properly. But now it is really tough to wear glasses and mask at the same time. So I have not been using.
Oh, right. So, what are the benefits of wearing a mask according to you? I mean, from a COVID perspective.
From COVID perspective, whatever had been suggested to us, I believe in all those things. And yes, wearing mask was important at that point of time. And I would like to mention one thing, that before that I had started wearing mask because whenever I used to go outside, I used to feel that heat and that pollution. And because of that, I thought that it might help. So I used to wear that mask. But now I am confused whether I should take care of my eyes, or I should think about the respiratory problems that can be uh, I mean, that can be a problem without, if I'm going outside without wearing a mask and all.
Is it difficult to wear a mask along with a spectacle?
Yeah, it is really, especially in the summer, because the way we breathe in or breathe out, that the
The
curvature
vapor.
of our glasses
The
gets
vapor.
dizzy.
You can feel the vapor on your glasses, isn't
Yeah,
it? Right.
right.
All right. Okay. So, how is the situation in Patna at the moment? Are there any COVID cases, or is everything under control?
Uh, it seems everything under control. In last
Hmm.
few weeks, the cases has started rising up, but now it has gone back to normal.
Right. So, when the cases were rising, did people start wearing mask again?
No, not at all.
No. All right.
It's only about if they are restricted by the government or the rules and regulations, then only
Hmm.
they will.
All right. Okay. Now, what were some of the things that you felt difficulty doing when you were wearing a mask 2 years back?
When I when I didn't use glass, and at that point of time, I did not. Uh, I mean, I did not get any difficulty while using mask. It was almost okay for me, and in fact, I used to enjoy this because, like I earlier said, that when I had started feeling that okay, walking outside on the road in such pollution and the dusty roads, it is unbearable without a mask. But after that, when I started using it, I felt good. And when I started using glasses, again, I felt like either I can look to my eyes first, or then only I can look forward to the mask and the benefits of mask.
Mm. Were you using disposable mask or reusable mask?
Sorry.
Were you using disposable mask? Disposable meaning one time use. After
Yeah, right,
using,
right,
yes. Were you using them
right.
or were you using reusable ones?
Generally, I used to use reusable ones, and
Hmm.
sometimes when I used to forget my mask at my home
Hmm.
while going to some other places where it was necessary. At those situations, I have used disposable ones as well.
All right. Okay. Now you told me you used to wear mask even prior to COVID because of the pollution.
Yeah,
So Patna is a place is slightly on the higher side in terms of pollution.
yeah, it is. It is on a higher side of pollution.
And what are the reasons? Is it an industrial area or is it an IT hub?
No, no, it is not an IT hub, but in recent time, the development in Patna, uh, I mean, it has developed a lot, especially in terms of the roads and transport system. And
Hmm.
because of that, the number of vehicles, especially the private vehicles, has gone up and up. If I generally look about the 10 years back or even 5 years back, at that point of time, the number of the private vehicles were very less. But in these days, gone. It has been rising on a higher scale. Like every houses have this personal vehicles, and because of that, the pollution has risen.
Hmm. All right. Pollution has risen.
Risen, yeah,
Hmm.
risen.
All right. Okay. Our government are trying to curb something, bring up some measures to bring down the pollution? Are they promoting a travel via public transportation?
Uh, that doesn't seem to be on a higher scale,
Hmm.
but of course, like government does all these things, so they do all this kind of advertisement and through the posters and all other things, but it is on very lower scale. Like people hardly care about those things.
Do you have a personal vehicle?
No, I do not have any.
All right. Okay. So another aspect of today's topic is we discussed about wearing a mask. Now, do you think sometimes people wear a mask to cover their emotion? I'm not talking about the physical mask. I'm talking about a mask that we usually take up when we're living in a society to hide something, hides
Okay,
our
yeah,
personality trait or some emotion.
yeah, right. uh,
Hmm.
uh, some people like to use, and at some point of time it becomes really tricky when some people try to use it for the purpose of like doing some misfortune, like if it is used by criminals. That's what I was trying to say. So if they are doing something like this and they are unable to hide themselves and then do such crimes and try to escape, that is the problem here. And there are so many instances that people have been successful in using such mask thing or doing these things.
Oh, you were talking about the physical mask that people are using when they are doing some fraudulent activities. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Oh, right. Any such incident in Patna during COVID time?
I can't recall.
All right. So what I was asking was that you added a different dimension to the question. So my question was not the physical mask. Sometimes in order to cover up our emotions, we put in a mask. I mean, not the physical mask. We act or
Okay,
behave in a particular way so that the other person cannot really understand our emotion, isn't it?
okay, yeah. So
That
got it
right.
now.
Do you feel
And
that we have a tendency as human beings to mask our emotions?
we generally do that.
Hmm.
And if I talk about the general people, they are unable to show their emotions. Sometimes they hide themselves, they hide their emotions to take care of others feeling. Sometimes they hide it to just make themselves comfortable because they feel they are not able to come out of their comfort zone, or they are unable to express themselves. So in both cases, people try to hide their identity, or they wear this kind of mask. like the emotional mask.
Right. You are comfortable with which person in your life where you can open up and share everything and you can even cry in front of them? Any such person or group of people in your life?
Uh, I don't feel that I can cry in front of anyone. And if I can recall, I mean, I don't know when I had cried last time in front of anyone. Because this is another problem. I mean, if I go deep in this, we have been designed, or we have been living in a society where we are told that you are man, you cannot cry. So we have been told like this, that if we cry, then somebody says like the racist comment, or the why are you crying? Are you a girl? And something like that, which is not good. But of course, since childhood, I have been listening all this, so it is really tough for me to go and open up against or in front of anyone. But if I am comfortable with someone, like some friend, then I can share whatever I have gone through. I can share my past. But as far as crying is concerned, I don't think I would be able to do that.
Right. So you're aware of the social stigma that society is
Yeah.
saying men are not supposed to cry. So since you're aware of that, what is stopping you from changing that? I mean, at least in your life, you can change that, isn't it?
Yeah, I can change it, but the people around whom I am living, they are unable to change. So they are unable to understand. Like I said earlier, if I'm comfortable, I can share. So I have shared sometimes to a few tutors if they have asked about my life, what I have gone through, or what I am doing, why I am doing all this till now. So there I'm comfortable with sharing all that. But when it comes to sharing all these things to those people whom I know that they won't be able to understand, either they are going to make fun of me, or they will think that okay, these things doesn't exist, at least for them.
So you basically don't open up in front of people because of your situation, because of the
Yeah,
people around. Right. All right. Okay. What are in some other stigmas that you have heard in the society that based on gender?
the another thing is like the household chores, that men are not meant to do household chores, and I'm not allowed to do. Like even if I try to wash the utensils if after eating or something, then I will get the answer from my mother or aunt or even sisters, that why are you doing this? This is not for you. So that is another thing that I can recall. And all these uh, things, or the maybe restrictions, sometimes uh, it comes in form of restrictions upon the girls generally.
Right. So are you interested in learning to cook and doing the household chores?
Yeah, I feel like I should learn cooking at least, because I
All right.
enjoy that.
Right. You said you have never done, or at least your parents and sisters are not allowing you to do it.
Yeah,
So, have
but
you ever got an opportunity to try it?
sometimes I have been alone at my home, and at those time I used to try, and I have tried. So I can cook a little bit, so much that if I'm alone, I can survive a few days, not more
Mhm.
than that.
All right. Have you ever moved away from Patna for some days or for some months?
Yeah, uh,
Um,
during my college days,
mhm.
I have been in Delhi for 3.5 years.
3.5 years?
Yeah,
Oh, right. Were you staying in a hostel or at an
no,
apartment? Oh,
I was staying with my uncle and aunt in some apartment
oh,
in
right.
Vasant Kunj.
Right. So there also you were getting homely food, isn't it? You never had an
Yeah,
opportunity to try and to be
yeah,
independent.
and yeah, but there I used to get some time, like
Mhm.
uncle and they used to go to abroad to their uh, son or daughter. So I used to be alone for almost 1 month or 1.5 months
Right.
in a year. So even at that time, the maid used to come in there, but sometimes if maid didn't turn up, So
Hmm.
I used to get those opportunities.
Right, that is good. Okay. Could you please open the chat window? We'll correct some mistakes and proceed.
Yeah.
Right. As I earlier said, so that was a careless mistake, as I said earlier.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm,
Right.
right. All right. Has risen, I think I immediately corrected it while you were
Yeah.
speaking. All right. Okay. Since childhood, I have been listening all this. I've been listening to all this. You were talking about you were talking about
Okay.
your
Yeah.
family.
Listening to. Right. Right.
Listening to all this, right? So overall, I would say you spoke very well today with minor pauses in between. But towards the second half of the session, you were speaking much more fluently because you were talking about your personal experience. So what is it
Okay.
that we can understand when we have something, some real a content which we are really connected to, our fluency automatically increases,
All right.
isn't it?
Yeah. And
Oh,
I mean, I have realized this as well, that if I have to uh, say something spontaneously, it goes down. So it is not always about the problem of language, maybe it is about the knowledge as well. If
yes.
I'm fully aware with the topic, I can speak in good way. Otherwise, I get stuck.
Yes, and that is normal. That is what I
Yeah.
want all the learners to understand. Learners are thinking English means you can talk about any subject. It's not so. If I have to talk
Right.
about certain topics which I'm not familiar with, I'll not be able to speak.
Right.
Right. So you are doing fine. You don't have much issues. But the thing is that when the topic is spontaneous, there are pauses. And that is perfectly all right. That is my point. Right.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about some future aspects. Okay. So what are your future goals? You told me you're a teacher. You're
Yeah.
also teaching students on various subjects as well as language. Now,
Right.
what are some of the other things that you would like to try in future?
Uh, I I like to. I mean, I'm working for English so that I could include a spoken English in horizon of my teaching, and I
Hmm,
could run a spoken English center. So
hmm.
uh, all my focus is on this only, because I, along with other subjects, I want to add a spoken English in my teaching skill.
Right. And what is the scope of that in Patna? Are many people open to that idea of learning languages?
Yeah, it Patna has a nice scope for this, and in local areas we hardly have good institutions. But in the posh area of Patna, the institutions like British Lingua has established its foot very well.